Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a quick video to talk to you about gardening, especially vegan gardening. There's a lot of misconceptions that you need animal products to have a thriving vegetable garden or any kind of garden, ornamental flowers, whatever it is. But the truth is you do not. What you want to start with is very rich soil, and you're going to get that from all the different nutrients that you're going to get from compost. So I really recommend that if you're a gardener and you have the space for it, make sure you're composting all of your vegetable scraps, which you'll have a lot of if you're vegan, obviously. And you can also buy compost, and you can also buy nutrient-rich soil. The soil I get, so here's one of our garden beds. It's actually, that one's the middle one there, and then we have a completely empty bed right here, and there's one next to it as well. And in that bed, I'm going to be putting, there's already some topsoil, and I get Topsoil Plus from EB Stone, and it's basically a topsoil that doesn't have any animal products in it. So a lot of soil that you're going to buy from nurseries are going to have chicken manure and feathers and blood meal and bone meal, and obviously I don't want blood meal and bone meal in my vegetable garden or anywhere else for that matter. So I have topsoil, and then I also mixed in some different fertilizers. Now, just like with people, we might have a single nutrient deficiency, and so we'd want to focus on making sure that we're going to get that single nutrient. So for instance, if we have like a calcium deficiency, we want to make sure we're getting calcium. If we have a B12 deficiency, we're going to want to focus on getting that single nutrient. But really, if you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet and you're getting all the nutrients from whole foods, you really should be fine. You're going to get everything you need. It's the same thing with soil. If you're starting with a really good, strong base of nutrient-rich soil coming from micronutrients, coming from worms, coming from worm poop, that's basically what you're going to get from naturally from micronutrients. It's not from animal products. It's the same thing. There might be some single nutrient deficiency, like potassium, like calcium, like iron, like phosphorus, like not nitrogen, whatever it is. And so those are the kinds of things, like once you figure out there's a single nutrient deficiency, you're going to boost the soil with some single nutrient. Now, there is a commercial product called Vegan Mix, and the 322 refers to nitrogen. That first number is always nitrogen. The second number is always phosphorus, and the third number is always referring to potassium, the letter K. And the nutrients, those single nutrients, do different things. Some of them boost leaf growth, some of them boost flower and fruit, some of them strengthen the roots. It really depends. And so if you figure out like, oh gosh, like there's X, Y, or Z happening, you kind of have to be a little bit of a scientist in your plants, in your garden. Then you go and kind of figure out, oh, that's a potassium deficiency, so I might need something like rock phosphate. So rock phosphate is going to be a natural organic boost of phosphorus. It might be potassium, and you can use something like kelp meal or seaweed. You're going to find that's going to be really rich in potassium, obviously. It could be a nitrogen deficiency, and you're going to want to use something like cottonseed or soybeans. Like that's going to be really great for putting nitrogen back in the soil. In fact, a lot of people who garden small scale or large scale, they add nutrients back in their soil after the growing season. So they do that through cover crops. And one of the cover crops that's really well known is legumes, because legumes are so rich in nitrogen and they put it right back into the soil. And so something like putting fava beans, growing fava beans, is going to put all that nitrogen back into the soil, and soybeans is one of those as well. So what I have here is I have two empty beds that are waiting to be planted with lots of veggies, and I am going to plant right now. I've got some zucchini squash, and so this is obviously going to want nice full sun, and I'm going to figure out exactly where I'm going to plant this in the garden bed. One of the things you can figure out when you're planting a bunch of things together in one garden bed is you can plant things that don't have a very deep root system next to things that do have a root system, so that they're both not competing for all of the nutrients and all of the space as they both go to the same place. So if you have one going deeper and one that is just more shallow, that would help. So for instance, beets, I have some beets here. Beets are obviously a root vegetable, and so they're going to need a lot deeper root system. So I'm going to plant those next to something like the peas. Don't really require a very deep root system. So I've got some peas, if I can find them. Got some marigolds. Marigolds are a wonderful, not only edible flower, but they're also a really good companion plant for vegetables. This looks like a pepper. Oh yeah. I got a shishito pepper. My husband doesn't know yet. So I've talked about shishito peppers before. They're wonderful to just toss in a hot saute pan with olive oil and some salt. That's all you need. Maybe a little hot pepper, which is what shishito is once it continues to ripen. But these are shishito peppers, and this is supposed to fruit a lot, like a lot. Abundant. Now I've got a bunch of lettuces, and this is going to go in my garden on the other side because lettuces do better in some shade, and the other garden has a little more shade. This garden right here has a lot of sun. So I've got a bunch of lettuces. So here are my beans. I decided not to get a pole bean because we have some raspberries on the other side of this bed, and I don't want the raspberries to get shaded. So I got a bush bean. So that's what you do. You got to figure out what space you have and what you can grow. And this looks like another summer squash. We're going to be, squash, as you know, is very prolific, so we're probably going to be making a lot of squash, a lot of zucchini squash muffins. But here's the really fun one. Sorry, I'm on like a hillside here. But this one's really fun, because I'm going to plant some watermelon. How cool is that? How cool is that? And this is a watermelon that doesn't have a huge vine. You know, some big size watermelons will have like a 15-foot vine. I think this is only like 6 feet. Yeah, like 5 to 6 feet. So anyway, so I'm gonna now figure out what I'm gonna plant where. And when I plant each one of these, I'm gonna just add a little bit of my vegan mix and just start it off with some rich nutrients that way. Obviously gonna keep it watered. I'm gonna put some mulch, but I just wanted to give you some ideas and some information and inspiration for growing your own food. My goal is to make this entire, or just at least be able to eat all of our vegetables from our garden. I just really am looking forward to that. In the beginning, it's not that cheap to do because obviously we have the raised beds, we have the soil we had to get, all the amendments we had to get, the plants themselves, which you can start from seed, but it takes longer, and I really just want to start getting these going. And I'll just keep you posted so you can see the progress on this garden. And if you have any questions, you can of course email me through my website, ColleenPatrick-Goudreau.com, and follow me on social media, and make sure you go and check out that 30-day vegan challenge and get your free joyful vegan starter guide so you too can live this abundant life where you don't need animal products. We don't need animal products to thrive. We can get our nutrients directly from the plants. After all, that's where the animals get their nutrients, and we can grow plants that get all of their nutrients also from the soil. They don't need animal products either. So you don't need your blood meal, you don't need your bone meal, you don't need your manure. You just need rich soil, and that comes from micronutrients. So hope that helps, and I will see you soon. Looking forward to seeing you. For the animals, this is Colleen Patrick-Goudreau. Thanks for watching.